Hello and welcome. This is the Phantom Radio Sports Show, back for another week. It's been a big old week in the Premier League, in the Scottish Premiership, in football in general, and I'm sure we will actually talk about some other sports other than football, even though, we usually just stick to it. It is the Phantom Radio Sports Show after all. There's also some golf on, which, as previously mentioned, we know nothing about, but we will give it a go at chatting about it. The title race in the Scottish Premiership looks to be hotting up. The one in the Premier League could all but be over, and Man City could go again. We'll find out a bit more about that and give it a chat in a moment. Here's Noel Gallagher. The Phantom Radio Sports Show, back for another week. It's Tuesday. It's almost 3:10, which feels like it's pretty late to be starting. But there's a reason for that. Today, you can hear us And you can also see us live on the Phantom Media YouTube channel. Give the cameras a wave there again, Kieran.
Hello to our lovely viewers.
Our lovely viewers on the YouTubes. You can find that by either just searching for Phantom Media, but it turns out there's quite a lot of YouTube channels called that. But alternatively, you could check out my Instagram story and click on the link there. My Instagram is Alfie_Dickin, or you could also look at the Phantom Radio Sports Show Instagram, which is just at Phantom Sports Show. And then you can watch our ugly mugs as well as listening to our
Who wouldn't want to do that?
Voices. Exactly.
And you can watch back anytime on YouTube as well.
That is true. Once it's gone out there, it's out into the world. Visual content. Again, let's wave at the listeners and viewers. If you're just a listener, you're missing out on our lovely mugs. But also, we're going to get on with the show now and stop talking and self-indulging, because it has been quite an interesting week, hasn't it, Kieran?
Weekend, yeah. In the Premier League, there's been a few results at both ends of the table, really stirred the pot. And, could be decisive weekend in the title race.
Some people saying it's all over. You're an Arsenal fan, Kieran, not the weekend you were looking for.
I understand why people are saying it's all over, because we've seen before Man City always end the season strongly under Guardiola. They always just go on this winning streak. The only solace that I'm taking is that Man City have got to go to Tottenham, and they've never won a Premier League game at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They haven't even won a goal. They haven't even scored a goal in the Premier League. So I'm hoping that Tottenham could do us a favour. But then again, Arsenal have then got to win all their games before then to then overtake City, because it's still only a 2-point gap.
It's still close.
Tight, and Liverpool can still obviously win it as well.
The thing is, in the past, and I've had a few conversations about this with various people over the last few days, and even before Arsenal's slip-up, shall we call it politely, at the weekend. And a lot of people essentially come to the same conclusion, which is, in the past, if a title race is as close as this, you never know. And if you're that close, if you're Arsenal, Liverpool, even Villa, which, I mean, they're still mathematically in with a chance of a league.
Come on, Villa.
But I don't think it's happening.
No.
They need Liverpool,
Sorry
Arsenal,
to break
and
their hearts.
City to lose every single one of their last games. But in the past, you could say, you never know. We'll see what happens. Keep playing, and a miracle could occur.
Yeah, still lots of football matches.
Yeah, exactly. Still a lot of football to be played. So who knows what could happen. But in the modern age, with Pep Guardiola's Man City, there's a trend where every year at the end of the season, they just refuse to lose a game of football. Like a machine, they just surpass all comers and just go, bye.
I don't know how they do it every season, because they're still human, like the Arsenal and Liverpool players.
And this is the thing, they may have a slip-up at the start of the season, and it may look like it's going to be a tasty title race, and then suddenly, just towards the end, just someone flicks a switch, and, the Terminator awakes, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's
very hard to
So
stop
a lot of people seem to believe that we're in this situation again. So we'll see. We shall see.
Well, we will see, but Arsenal and Liverpool can't really afford to be losing many more games now. They've given City the lead, so the pressure has ramped up.
Arsenal against Wolves, of course.
Wolves, tough game. Wolves have done well under Gary O'Neill, so that wouldn't be an easy game. And
it's
now,
funny, isn't it? Because
the back of Munich and everything.
No game looks easy anymore for Arsenal.
No.
I mean, even if they were up against, I'm not going to say Sheffield United, that might be a bit too far. But even if they were up against teams towards the lower end of the table, you go, the pressure is just now, it's just so on them. And it's on them not because they're top and got to hold on to it. It's on them because the moment they slip up, they're just out of it entirely now. Because that's how good City are. They've made one slip up, which everyone now thinks that they're out of it. One more slip up and it's over, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, there's the other side of it as well, that maybe thinking if people think they're out of it and people think now City are going to, maybe the pressure is reversing. Maybe the pressure comes off them a little bit. You could argue that.
Well, that's what you're hoping happens.
That's what you're hoping, that the players just think, well, everyone's written us off now, so, let's just not worry about it. Let's just try and win the games of football rather
Also,
than worrying
thus
about
far, solely focusing on Arsenal here, when Liverpool are, of course, on exactly the same amount of points. 32 games played overall for all the teams. Man City top with 73 points, and Arsenal and Liverpool just behind, 2 points behind both teams. A goal difference is in favour of Arsenal, obviously, hence them being second.
That's like an extra point, isn't it, really?
It is. Goal difference, though, is... Man City's goal difference isn't as good as Arsenal's, so if they were hanging on tight in there, they'd be, they'd have that advantage. But yeah, Liverpool, we can't just ignore Liverpool.
No, we can't ignore them. But
big conversations about Liverpool this season. The news was massive when we came back after Christmas. The first thing we got to talk about was the big news in football that Jurgen Klopp had decided that he was departing at the end of the season. A gamble that looks like the announcement being a gamble looks like it sort of was paying off until this moment. Unfortunately, it leads to a lot of people sort of wanting them not to win because it feels like an attempt to engineer the narrative in their favour, which a lot of laughter to happen when that doesn't occur.
Realistically, they've only got the Premier League to go for now. They're out the FA Cup.
Yeah, there was a stage this season where it was like you can go for all four competitions you're in, but nope, not at all.
Because that was a shock on Thursday night when they lost 3-0 to Atalanta. You can't see them overturning that in Italy. Atalanta 3-0 up at home. Surely they're gonna, hold on to 3-goal lead. You'd think.
I'm sure I showed you this clip of James Horncastle doing some punditry on that game.
You did.
And talking about why
insightful.
the Atalanta manager was... why we shouldn't all be surprised that Atalanta were able to beat a team as good as Liverpool in a European competition. And it just highlighted so starkly how getting on someone who knows what they're on about and not just sticking with the nearest ex-player who will say the same old platitudes every time really makes a big difference, because his delivery, his tone, his expertise, everything about it was just so much more compelling and interesting than anything that any of the other pundits were able to string together, because most of what they said, although admittedly you want a bit of a look over what's just happened in that game, there's never anything beyond that narratively, is there? Whereas James Horncastle quite expertly went through the manager's career, why it shouldn't be a surprise that he won,
about, didn't he?
Why he should actually maybe be in the thoughts of people like Liverpool who are looking for new managers in the new season, despite him being, I think he's 60 odd, the manager, but it's not an age where you dismiss the guy, and he's been around and showing consistently that he should be up for those jobs. And it was just really interesting punditry, and I thought it's quite bizarre that we don't see enough of people like that. I know TNT obviously put on James Horncastle and Rafa Honigstein, who both are experts in their respective fields, Germany and Italy. But we need more of that, I think.
We do need more of that, because the pundits getting a bit boring, aren't they? As you said, you just hear the same thing. You see the same ones each week, but people are like, James Horncastle, as you said, really know their stuff. They've really researched it for years. They watch all the games. They speak to people, in that space, and you could tell expertise.
Yeah,
and I agreed with what he had said. And he said that Atalanta boss had also beaten the Sporting boss that Liverpool were linked with.
Yes, that's true.
Which was a good point, actually.
Obviously, Giampiero Gasparini, the manager of Atalanta. I just realised we hadn't said his name for some reason.
I couldn't remember his name, I've got to be honest.
But obviously, Ruben Amorim's the name that's on everyone's lips, apparently. A few things in the week where it's like, oh, he's definitely been in talks with Liverpool. Oh, he definitely hasn't. Oh, he has. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. So quite hard to actually keep up with what the truth is there. But of course, he seems to be flavour of the month for everyone who wants an opinion on who the next manager should be. But why not give Gasparini a look in? Because
why not?
He's been doing a great job with Atalanta. He also mentioned how he was basically one of the main reasons why Antonio Conte plays 3 at the back, which I found quite interesting.
Yes, didn't know
is
that.
The guy is in a sense a pioneer, because Conte used to play 4-4-2 until he watched Gasparini's, I believe it was Napoli he mentioned, well anyway his team of the time, and then decided to go for a 3 at the back that won titles for Juventus. So the guy is no
and in the Premier League at Chelsea.
Yeah, he's as football pundits would say, he's no mug. So why not give him a look in? I thought that was quite interesting.
I thought that was very interesting, yep.
But yeah, quite a negative week for Liverpool and Arsenal. Man City had a pretty easy Sunday, didn't they? They didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but also they had an easy game on the Saturday. You know, Luton at home, they're expected to win that. So they're going to have tougher games, but as we said, they usually at this stage of the season just keep on winning.
They're somehow just the team that even if they had the toughest run in, which I don't think they do. I think Arsenal probably have the toughest run
by a country mile, yeah.
But even if they did have the toughest run in, you'd still somehow think
they've
got it underway. They got it in the
Real Madrid and Barcelona could be in our league, and you'd still say, "Oh, Man City going to win." You know what I mean? Like,
it's annoying, isn't it?
So annoying, because I just want a different winner. I want something different.
Just before Easter, we obviously had Pete on the show, and we're talking about Man City and saying, look, we just want something different, and it would be funny if they were relegated a few times upon these 115 charges, or whatever seems to happen. But it's just not. The realistic thing is that Man City are this machine that will just keep on rolling.
You
and
made
rolling.
a good point, not on this radio show, but outside.
Oh,
that
I never make good points on the radio. Is
that before Pep Guardiola came in, Man City weren't this good, and they still had obviously the backing and some obviously really good players, but they were never this juggernaut as we see them now.
Yeah,
so maybe
you
when
were never
Pep
this sure of them.
Yeah, so maybe when Pep leaves, that's when City won't obviously drop off to mid-table, but the
competitive
still be up there,
nature might be.
They probably won't ever hit these heights again.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, because as much as people keep saying, "Oh, they're the best team in the world, they're the best we've ever seen," which I'm sure they are, just purely because also the advancements in technology, it's just almost a guarantee that athletes are going to use those advancements to their advantage, and therefore are always going to be better than those of yonder years who didn't have access to those facilities and ideas. So obviously in that sense they're one of the best teams we've ever seen, but also from an entertainment point of view, I don't think they are the best team we've ever seen, because they're almost too good. So it just gets a bit boring.
Klopp's Liverpool are up there in terms of entertainment.
Oh, 100%.
Because they just fly forward like the Red Arrows and just...
teams like Tottenham, how they play,
even
and
at
how...
the underhand, that's entertaining at least.
When Marcelo Bielsa took Leeds off and how they played, it didn't
Kevin
work
Keegan.
for them. They'd concede about 10 goals a game, but they'd also score about 7 as well. So, it was an exciting thing to watch. Whereas Man City aren't that, are
When
they?
they score, you just think, oh, they've won.
Well, the reaction from the crowd is one of apathy sometimes. They'll score and it's like, there we go, that's the goal we expected.
No one expected
Just
Luton to win on Saturday, but when the goal went in after 2 minutes, you just knew then.
You just sit back and go, right, we've scored now.
We know City have won.
Well, let's go home. That was fun, wasn't it? Here we go again. It must be bored. Can you imagine being bored of winning trophies?
I think you should just put Scott Carson in goal for these games.
Just for the jeopardy.
Because I still think they would pretty much win near enough.
Well, he wouldn't have to make a save, would he?
That's the point.
Probably why.
So I think they should just do it for a laugh.
Do it for a laugh. Yeah, why not? Indeed. Right, we'll be back after the Stone Roses. We'll remain on air for those on YouTube, though. So if you're watching on there, give us a listen. Hello? I think this works.
Have you watched the Man City documentary on Netflix? The new one.
No, I haven't actually. I'm trying to figure out how to, because I can still hear the music. I suppose we just have to take the headphones off. But we are still broadcasting live on YouTube. Just keep your eye on the time over there. But we'll have a discussion about other things. So like you say, the documentaries, let's talk about documentaries for these 3 minutes we've got to talk about documentaries.
It was a bit different. It wasn't like Amazon Prime right in there, but there was behind the scenes access, and you saw a bit of Pep Guardiola's team talks. And obviously the standards are obviously very high. He obviously drives those standards out to players.
You do see clips of
It was quite
him
interesting.
waltzing around, doing all his movements and doing a nice little team talk.
But he lets the other players also take a bit of responsibility sometimes, and they, take the mantle. And it's quite nice when Carl Walker's like, "This is my dream to win Champions League. We better win."
Better win this,
there is a human element to it. We sort of did see a bit of a funnier side, I suppose.
Yeah, they do still seem so robotic from the outside. I don't know. I feel I might have mentioned this before. Is that these documentaries about teams who are successful are so boring. I think
that's why they tried to twist it. They
just
tried to make it really positive, and
that's not what I want to see at all. The documentaries I want to watch are of failure. I want to watch failure, everyone. That's what we want to see.
You know what we should have done? We should have done a documentary on Pascal Chimbonda at Skelmersdale. Oh. We missed out. I think Netflix would have come cool
to be a fly on the wall.
Go behind the scenes of Pascal signing on as a player, even though he can't even go to the stadium.
#Chimbonda getting his official player registration back.
We could just become freelancers and just follow him now next season wherever he goes.
That sounds a bit creepy. Let's just follow Pascal Chimbonda from now on. Got nothing better to do apparently. But yeah, the documentaries I want to watch are those ones from the 90s that are gritty, and there's a fly on the wall, camera fly on the wall situation during a team talk, and the manager just goes ballistic and starts effing and jeffing everywhere, and it's not going well for them. The best one is Chester City, an American Dream, in which as the rather posh BBC narrator says, is an American gridiron coach, which just means American football. An American football coach who's a bit rich, buys the club. Long story short, it's not going well for them. They're in League Two. Looking down the barrel of relegation after a few games. So he sacks the manager. And then his managerial search lasts all of 5 minutes. And that 5 minutes involves him going to look in the mirror. Because he hires himself as manager. And guess what happens?
Get relegated?
Yeah, you won't be surprised. They get relegated.
I didn't get promoted.
What a shocking thing. Yeah,
wow.
Relegation for Chester City. Watch that on YouTube, Chester City and American Dream, after you watch this show, of course. We're coming back in on the radio now. Here we go, back in.
Well, we never stopped, did we?
We had some chat. If you're listening on YouTube, we had a bit of chat about football documentaries there, which we'll carry on in the next song break, I think. But if you want to catch up on that chat, then please do watch on the YouTube, because you can't hear it over the airwaves. But you did hear a bit of She Bangs the Drums by the Stone Roses, which is quite a tune, so, it's your choice. It's your choice. Us banging on about football documentaries or the Stone Roses. A tough choice.
That should be a poll. What did you do, our listeners?
What did you do? That is true. I have also put a poll. Thanks for reminding about polls there on my Instagram. Again, Alfie_Dickin. Just check it out on the old Instagrams. Give us a follow if you'd like. But also vote in the poll. Who's going to win the Premier League this season? I'm imagining it's going to be 100% for Man City.
I backed my team, obviously, through thick and thin. I think it was actually 50-25-25 when I did it, but hopefully there's more votes now, because I must have been one of the first.
Oh, okay, I'll check it out. If you want to fill for time while I try.
But Man City are the favourites. We saw the Opta supercomputer just rocket them up, and. To be honest, I can't see anything now other than a Man City winner. I've got to be honest.
Currently 60% voting for Man City. Did you vote for Arsenal by any chance?
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, I had to vote for my own club. Can't go against my club.
Okay, so we got a few votes in. Ella Barber of She Talks Sport, which is available to listen to on this radio station Fridays on 12:30, has voted for Man City. So the thinking person's vote there again.
Thought she was a Man United fan though.
I know, but you've got to. Sometimes you've got to admit that you are the worst team in Manchester. See, this is the other thing. People say we can't be having Man City winning the league every season. If someone offered me a trade of, okay, then they won't this season, Man United will win it, I'll go, no, I'd rather Man City win it. I'd rather Man City won the league for the rest of time than Man United ever winning the league again. That's just utterly insufferable. I could not cope with it.
Yeah.
I feel like for the age that we were, most people in school who were glory hunters would have supported Man United. And those were some insufferable people. And therefore, I don't want to see them happy. Because they've been living through a banter era of Man United, and I don't want that to end.
They're not Man
United
fans though now. They've suddenly turned.
What, to the blue side?
Yeah.
Yes.
Suddenly turned.
Very suddenly, indeed. But yes, a few votes coming in. Again, Josh Cade votes for Man City. Tom Morris votes for Man City. Casey Renix has voted for Arsenal. So a bit of hope there, and another vote for Man City. It's
I'd love to know why Casey voted for Arsenal,
because
he's obviously not an Arsenal fan.
Keep those votes flooding in, and maybe give us a reasoning if you want to. On Instagram stories, you can send me a message underneath the story with the vote on.
I'd love to hear from you.
So let me know your thinking. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? If you voted for Man City, you just sort of, the thinking is, well, Man City are great. Yeah. So what more is facing?
Well, and there's evidence to support that, so why? You can't really argue, can
Evidence of how many years?
Well, they've won it for the last 3 years.
Luckily, we're also hoping that there's evidence of 115 charges. Maybe that'll come in handy.
Hopefully.
At some point. Look, again, as a Stoke fan, I'm still holding on to that FA Cup final loss in 2011 and saying,
Man City could have a nice local derby of Altrincham or Oldham instead.
Yeah,
Rochdale.
Let's knock them all the way down there.
They've got more derbies than if they were in the National League than they stayed in the Premier League.
How relegated would Man City have to get before Pep Guardiola says, no, I'm not sticking around?
One. He won't stay in the Championship.
Yeah, but he claimed that he would.
He would not.
Which, I agree. I think is total rubbish. But could you imagine him in the Championship?
So a big club like Barcelona, I know he's already been at Barcelona, but, well, maybe PSG hasn't been PSG. Big club like that comes, win us Champions League. Oh no, I'm going to stay in the Championship with Man City.
Big club in the Champions League.
And I'm going to go to Rotherham away on a Tuesday night.
You were thinking about the mighty Hoops up north.
Obviously was.
Brendan Rodgers obviously not doing the greatest job. He's doing all right, but he's not done the best job.
They've got into a bit of a stride now.
So why not? If Pep's available,
mate,
you could see them through. Maybe it's better than Man City. And again, that's just another team who until this season and the one where the anomaly a few seasons ago, a team that are just always going to win. So why not? I do wonder where he goes next. Because
I think maybe PSG's actually a good one.
He hasn't done Italy, has he?
No.
Which I feel has
Which
more
club, though?
More kudos in going to Italy than going to PSG in France, I feel. So I'd go for that.
More competition, yeah.
Well, who... Yeah, that's a good question, because do you go to a team like Inter, who won it, and are strong contenders? Do you go to Juve, who are the team who obviously famously win it loads, but haven't for the last few seasons?
Well, they haven't won the Champions League for a few years, Juventus have, so that
Well, they haven't won anything for a few seasons because they've been rubbish. So is there a thing about getting them back to the top? But then,
AC Milan might
resetting the balance to boring again in the Italian league is not really what we want, because the fact that it's been a few seasons of not knowing who's going to win is actually quite exciting.
Yeah.
Speaking of European leagues where where there's been a bit of a shake-up this season, what happened at the weekend?
In the Bundesliga, well, Bayer Leverkusen won the title, and it's the first time in a decade that Bayern Munich haven't won it.
In over 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it 2012 was the last time that Bayern
Dortmund
didn't win it? That's true. Quite a feat for Xabi Alonso, who apparently is going to be sticking around now, is what he said. But then, people have said these things before.
Money talks, so.
we all remember Fabian Delph or Aston Villa saying that he was made the captain and saying this where he's always going to be, always wanted to be. Skip forward, I think 48 hours, and he was signing on the dotted line for Man City. So people say things in football, and it's not always true.
I think it'd be good if he does stay though, and I think he believes in himself and he believes in the squad if he stays. So I think it's quite a good decision. Sometimes managers like players jump too early to these big jobs. So it'll be interesting next season.
There's a Celtic connection in the Leverkusen squad, of course. Frimpong winning a title.
People were like, he's not as good as James Tavernier. Well, come on then, James Tavernier. You're going to go to the Bundesliga champions and win the title?
Yeah, I don't think so. He's in the twilight of his career, is James.
He's also not good enough.
You shot me. Oh, wow. Is it hailing? Wow, that's quite loud, isn't it? Apologies. I don't know whether you can hear that on the microphones, but it's just suddenly got very loud and haily on the windows outside.
The weather's been
someone
weird.
Doesn't like our conversation about James Tavernier has sent the wrath of hail onto the window to go, please stop mocking me. So maybe we shall. We'll step away from James.
I like mocking James Tavernier.
I do apologise, but yes, the Bundesliga swept up in convincing style by Leverkusen. What does this mean, though, for Bayern Munich? Because 10 years of dominance.
It was going to end one day, though, wasn't it? There was going to be that one season.
Of course.
Like Man City can't win every Premier League forever. There will be.
It was going to happen one day, and hopefully. It had to be the day that Harry Kane decided to join Bayern Munich.
And Granit Xhaka scored a goal at the weekend as well by Leverkusen. Stunner. And he's obviously at Arsenal.
Obviously, it's
it was a good weekend.
A Tottenham-Arsenal situation there.
People, yeah.
Yeah. So management Bayern wise, Munchen wise, is obviously Thomas Tuchel at the moment, but he won't be there next season.
Well, apparently they're looking at Julian Nagelsmann.
Bringing him back in because his contract with the DFB ends after the Euros. So he could be in a scenario where they win the home Euros and then joins Bayern again. I don't think Germany are in with a chance of winning, even though they're hosting. I just don't think they're that good. Please clip that off and use it
when they win.
When whoever, I was trying to think of who the captain of Germany is. I imagine Toni Kroos is lifting the trophy later on this summer.
Well, they've always got good players, haven't they, Germany? But they just haven't found that system, and they're a bit weak in full-back areas and defensively.
They were playing Kai Havertz at left back at one point.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Since Philip Lahm has left, it's not been the same.
Yes, never the same. He was right back, of course. Who is the right back? Kimmich. But he hasn't had the best season at all and comes in for a lot of
criticism.
A lot of shtick throughout. So, yeah, maybe an interesting one. But, yeah, apparently, obviously he had under 2 years at Bayern where, even though I think he was sort of steadily progressing, for some reason there just wasn't the patience with him. Which, in one sense, you think a club that big sometimes has to be brutal, but in the other, it hasn't gone well for them, and it may have bitten them in the behind, as it was, as Leverkusen swoop up
and deservedly so, still unbeaten. Did you see the game against West Ham last week as well?
Because
I thought West Ham Premier League side, they're going to give them a game. I thought, maybe not winning in Germany, but I thought they'll give them a good game. But it was total dominance from start to finish. They can control that game. Xabi Alonso learning from his old manager Guardiola, obviously.
Yeah, and
it's a good performance.
Look, if you're that confident and you're unbeaten in the league all season, every game you go into, you're going to beat.
Yeah. They're a Champions League team in the Europa League at the minute. And I think now Liverpool maybe going out on Thursday, then I think would have clear favourites. Liverpool going out.
It looks like it could be a really good season for Xabi Alonso.
An excellent season. Yeah.
Look, if he was to leave Leverkusen at the end, it wouldn't be the worst way to leave, would it? Well, look, I've won you the league, I've won you the Europa League.
We always say,
that cannot be bad will.
We always say, leave on a high, don't let it stagnate. Don't leave on a low. So yeah, it'd be good. But he's only been there 1 year, so.
But he has said that he isn't going to leave, which is an error in that. I'd just keep your cards close to your chest and let it all play out, and then it might be the best way to leave possible.
Because now, if he does leave, it's going to be a tiny stain.
Think Claudio Ranieri at Leicester. If he'd have just left after winning the Premier League, as opposed to just going through that sort of monotonous, miserable few months, the season after, where it was like, oh god, this isn't working at all.
Standing outside in the rain at Swansea whilst they get beat 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, he had to stay for the what's he called? Opera singer.
Botticelli.
No, is that right? Is that not quite right? Andrea Bocelli.
Bocelli.
Yes, it's Botticelli. Something similar, but maybe not the same. Andrea Bocelli singing Nessun Dorma in the first game back. You had to stay for that. Also slightly second-hand embarrassment when the fans wouldn't shut up. And Claudio Ranieri.
And he can't see, can he, Bocelli?
Yeah, exactly.
He's blind, so he didn't know what was happening, probably. He was just...
know what was happening. But hey, nice voice. I mean, it's not this isn't a music podcast for a reason.
I listened to a bit of Bocelli in the storm and stuff.
Conte Partiro. What more do you want? What does that stand? Time to say goodbye. That's what that means. Also, time to say goodbye to this link, as we will play some communards now. We don't have any Andrea Bocelli to compliment. I do apologise. Here are the communards. Okay, back just on YouTube as the communards play away in the background.
Is there not a documentary about the Leicester winning team?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because that surely should be a documentary behind the scenes about how they won it and everything.
Yeah.
Who didn't latch onto that opportunity?
That is a really good point. But then, in a sense, you would have had to have spotted the fact that they were going to win the league the season before.
No one did.
Which, why would you?
I don't even think Ranieri did.
Exactly, because imagine who came up... Not this season, but the one before, and stayed in the Premier League. Who were they? Nottingham Forest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's probably a bad example because they'd be happy to slash the money out and do something weird like a documentary. But I imagine most Premier League teams who are sort of aiming to be in a we will be in a relegation fight. Won't be getting the camera teams in. Yeah. So it would have been a strange choice to have foreseen such a thing. So maybe there isn't one out there for that reason. But my favourite is I have already mentioned the Chester City and American Dream one, which again, please go and watch. It's very good. My favourite for quotes and big moments is The Impossible Job, which is a documentary about Graham Taylor that a person we talked about many times on this station before. And now we're talking about him again, but not on the airwaves, just on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. The song Don't Leave Me This Way by the Communards.
They should have to subscribe for this.
Exactly. This extra content. We've got to come up with nonsense to talk about. Well,
we don't get paid, so you should pay us if you're watching.
Come on.
When we leave uni in May, we need a job, so get your money out.
Live streaming
YouTube
on YouTube.
memberships.
Maybe that's the one. But yes, documentaries. The Impossible Job. Graham Taylor on the sidelines saying, "You cost me my job, you have, Lino. Linesman, what have you been instructed?" He says, sort of accusing him of corruption for some reason, but also, it was quite bad. In the Holland game in the qualifiers where Ronald Koeman should have been sent off, then they win a free kick, then he scores that free kick. He's going to chip one here, I don't know how the commentator knew that was going to happen. It's a bit odd.
Yeah.
The foresight.
Predicted the future, yeah.
And then obviously Ronald Koeman dinked the ball in the back of the net, and shouldn't have been on the pitch. So
shows good research by the commentator.
Good research into the future. I'm not sure that's on the crib sheet.
Could have gone to training though.
Just like, okay, so in goal is going to be a bad example because I can't think of the Dutch goalkeeper. In defence, going to be Frank Rijkaard and Ronald Koeman. And in about 20 seconds, Ronald Koeman's going to chip the ball. Yeah,
Let's
good
have
research
that.
by me there. Yeah, I'm not sure that counts as research, but yeah, a good documentary nonetheless. Just shows sometimes how sort of both professional and incredibly unprofessional the environment of these teams are, which is a bit of a strange thing, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, 30 seconds left. Do you want to quickly dip into the idea of a documentary that you quite like?
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be football. I mean, I know we've mentioned like the Beckham one and the, there's an Eddie the Eagle one.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
I can't think off the top of my
Okay,
head.
Kieran will update us on that after this. We'll be back in a second. Okay, scrap that. Apparently David Bowie started playing on the station, so we'll let that happen, and then we'll come back in. So I have given you more time to think about the documentary. So come on, give us a documentary, Kieran.
I was saying on documentary. Apparently, Clarkson Farms a documentary according to this website.
In a sense, there is football in that. There is football.
Yeah.
Is it Chesham? No, what's the place called?
Chipping Norton is where
Norton.
they. Yeah.
Oh, Chipping Norton FC, and then the badges of tractors and stuff.
Yeah.
And he sponsors them with his farm,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
There's a new series coming out soon as well.
Yes.
I need to watch the Ronnie O'Sullivan one on Amazon Prime as well, because I've got that at the minute.
Yes, we've got an interesting character, of course.
I haven't done that yet.
Who we've mentioned many a time on this radio show.
Should do that.
Just because we're so impressed with him. Should we do, after this, should we do a quiz?
Yeah, should we do a quiz?
Yes, 15 minutes before the hour. We'll plug in a quiz there.
What sort of quiz should we do today?
Hey, it's going to be, well, shock horror. It's going to be a Wikipedia quiz. Also, we have 3 minutes to talk about nonsense. It's not sport related, but we did do a pub quiz last night.
Oh, we did, yeah.
How did we do?
Quite well, I thought. 33 out of 45, 49?
It's not bad, is it?
What was it again?
It was 33 out of 45.
45.
Yes. I think I counted and we came about 10th-ish.
Middle of the pack again.
What you say?
Middle of the pack again.
Yes, yes.
There's some clever teams then, because I
Exactly,
thought we
there were
did
some
quite well.
clever
Then it's
people.
like, God, we're 10th.
We were very happy with where we ended up.
No, very happy, yeah. Good team of 4 of us, and hopefully next week, team of 6 of us.
Oh, hopefully.
2 new brains, and
We're attempting to recruit those few
Yes.
extra points to get us.
we're just going to
right
recruit
up the
the
table.
best players on the other teams.
Yeah. It's poach. We'll be like
Yeah.
Man City. We just got enough money to.
Yeah.
We're going to bribe.
We're gonna
not-
give you
not
10%
bribe,
the
shh,
prize
didn't say
pot
that. We're
if
not
we win.
bribing it. Yeah, we're just going to convince politely
Yeah.
some other people to join
We'll
the team.
buy you a beer. And,
Yes, and pay for
yeah.
your entry. £1 entry. It was at the Greyhound pub.
Yes.
This isn't an advert. It's just
It's
the
a
truth.
good
So
pub quiz,
you know,
isn't it? I enjoy
it's
it.
good. A nice pub quiz on paper, which is always good.
Classic.
There were a few questions about sport. There was also the picture round was images of people on Time magazine, and there was a sport one involved, or at least we thought it was a
We
sport.
thought it was a
person
sportsman.
involved. So number 10 was an image of Oscar
didn't
Pistorius,
get
which
that
is
though, did
obviously
we?
to do with sport, which we both didn't get, but Barney did. So a teammate got it, so
Yeah,
that was
well done,
fine.
Barn.
But number 4 was a picture of a man on a bike, and you couldn't really see his face. And he was a bit in the distance. And so we thought, we don't know who that is, but it's a man on the bike. And people on Time Magazine's cover for Person of the Year aren't always good people, a la Oscar Pistorius. And so we thought maybe it's Lance Armstrong, because obviously the whole doping scandal.
I
Got
thought
to
it was
the
an
answers
educated guess,
round.
but,
Who was it?
Joe Biden.
It was Joe
That
Biden
very
on a bike.
famous cyclist.
Cyclist Joe Biden. So yeah, we'll leave you with that.
He
thought.
probably can't even ride a bike at his age.
And we'll leave you with the thought of Joe Biden on a bicycle, and we'll be back on air in moments. Okay, we're back on the airwaves.
Football could be coming home this summer.
Well, yeah, we all live in hope. Gareth Southgate's last roll of the dice for England, it would appear. Boris Johnson there telling us about how that could happen in that stint.
Well, Boris is unemployed. He could be the next manager after Southgate.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
He's a good motivational
I
speaker.
can't think of anything worse. Well, I can. And she was in the LBC studio, the BBC studio, and at various news stations this week, basically lying through her back teeth about everything.
Go buy her new book.
Yeah, rhymes with beer's loss. Yeah, no thanks. Anywho, get on with it. We're going to do a quiz now. I do believe. Are we? Are we doing the quiz now? Or look, are you not prepared? I'm not prepared at all. But we can.
Shall
do
we
a quiz.
prepare whilst we just chat about last night's game?
Yeah,
because
go for
Dele Alli was on Monday Night Football, and there was a bit of arguing over the penalty as well. A few talking points.
So he, I can tell you about Dele Alli on there. I think he was quite good. Again, we sort of have a system of ranking these people, and we mentioned before, and everyone said, Gary O'Neill was well up there in moments of the year, and I think he's been that episode had been nominated for a few awards. It was that good when he was on Monday Night Football, just showing and talking through Wolves' various Wolves games, and just being really insightful and quite interesting. And then I think the week after, Mikel Antonio was on and was just fine, but didn't quite have the same pizzazz that O'Neill added. Dele Alli on this time, I thought he was quite good. A bit of insight in there, a bit of talking about what he wants to do and where he is in his career at the moment. We spoke about England in the Euros a moment ago, just sort of touched on it a bit. He said that he would like to be in contention for the next World Cup squad. That is his goal.
I would like to, be at the Euros this summer as a lead presenter at the BBC.
But yeah, something's
Let's
unlikely
be honest,
to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I feel like, in a sense, an athlete needs a goal that you got to work towards. I'm not sure how realistic that is. Even if he was, in a sense, I feel that even if he was sort of back up to standard that he used to be, I still think he wouldn't get in the squad. Because I don't think he was ever better than, say, Phil Foden is now. Or, look at how good James Maddison was at the start of this season. I just don't think he'd be able to get back up to that standard, even if he got up to the best that he ever was.
Well, Foden, Saka and all Bellingham and all those players, they're going to be in their prime in 2 years. Dele Alli, who hasn't played since last year, isn't going to, suddenly overtake them. Well, I don't think so anyway. He may get in the squad if he does maybe have a season of playing games and he can prove, to the manager that, he's in good form, but he won't be first choice on the team sheet.
No, I don't think so in any way, shape or form.
But it's good to have that ambition and to try and see something in the future, try and achieve. I don't blame him in that regard. He was a good player back in the day, wasn't he? I say back in the day as a result, but it has been a few years now since he was any good. Mainly due to injuries, again, but
a bit of a shame. But what can you do? Again, thought it was interesting on Monday Night Football. What did you make of the game?
Well, Everton were atrocious. Let's be quite frank. Chelsea are actually on an 8-match unbeaten run, slightly going under the radar because obviously when you look at their performances and whatnot, you wouldn't really think of a side that's on a 8-match unbeaten run. And I know they drew Sheffield United, but they have had a few good results lately. They're scoring lots of goals, so actually they're in form. And Cole Palmer is obviously a big reason for that. And he scored 4 last night. That the penalty is obviously being discussed quite a bit. I think that should just be in the changing room. You're the one taking the penalty, no matter what in the game, and that should be that. But they squabbled over it, and it just makes them look childish. And they are young players, so that is the right word to use. But it's not very professional.
So what? This is something I'm always interested in, and a conundrum that we sort of faced head on this weekend with Derby County women's game against Halifax, where there was a missed penalty in that match. Of course, for those who don't know, we do media coverage for Derby County Women, so therefore we're at that game this Sunday. There was a penalty in that one. There's been a few penalties this season that haven't quite been converted. Admittedly, this penalty, I think, was a decent enough penalty.
Right, when it was just a
and
good
it was
height,
a good enough save to say fair enough. But there've been a few that they've missed this season, and again, as a Stoke fan, I hate to bring it up once more. Penalties have never been the guaranteed shot at a goal that it seems to be for every other team. The amount of times I've seen a penalty go astray this season, or over the past few seasons, as a Stoke fan, is quite bizarre. The thing mentioned is that they don't choose a penalty taker. So it seems like teams... So another thing Dele Alli talked about, because obviously he was with this game, was that, say, when he was at Tottenham, obviously he never had a look in for penalties, because Harry Kane's there, everyone knows how good Harry Kane is, and he's just going to take the penalty, and that's it. He can't argue with it. So that's sort of the difficulty is... Chelsea didn't appear to choose that penalty taker. Derby didn't choose a penalty taker. And again, after the game, we asked the manager about it, and it was essentially, look, we just go on who's most confident in the moment. But sometimes this for Chelsea here is the display of why that tactic might not work so well.
Yeah. Well, I disagreed with Dime Manager personally. I think you should have a set penalty taker in the change rooms. People know their jobs then. And then people can get in the right frame of mind for it when it comes along.
Precisely.
That's just my opinion.
I think I agree entirely with you. I know, it's... What fun. We're not arguing at all. We're just agreeing.
It's like, saying anyone can just be captain today. I'm not going to choose. Well, why would you do that? Why would you say, you lot just pick starting 11 today?
Yeah, and one of the primary problems here was that Nicholas Jackson got himself involved because he, is a striker and just wants the goal.
There were four.
Madueke got involved.
Passed over. He's already got the hat-trick as well.
But he just wanted more, and that's footballers for you. Every single player on that pitch who's, an attacking player and is confident at penalties will want the chance to score a goal. And, at that point it may just be stat padding when you're 4-0 up, but... an argument ensues. Just choose a penalty taker and have done with it, and that's it. I mean, maybe you can understand if there's an argument if that person goes off the pitch after that. But, look, if you're solid and secure and you know where you stand, then that's a lot better than being slightly confused about it all, isn't it?
Totally agree. We better go off this, because we're just agreeing.
We are just agreeing. It's no good.
But it was a good Monday Night Football. I like the fact they have different guests on each week. We've had a few good ones. Thought Ian Wright was good. Don't think we talked about that.
Oh,
Ian Wright
yes, of course. So
but obviously
Ian Wright,
he is a pundit for years.
He knows what he's doing.
But still good.
Obviously announced that he's going to be leaving Match of the Day at the end of.
Do you think it's because he's got
season.
Sky Sports in his eye?
Hey, look, if
more
I
money
was
maybe or something on there.
If I was Ian Wright, which I'm not, which is a shame in many ways, Well, I'm not even if I was Ian Wright. If I was Sky Sports and he was available, I'd snap him up immediately. Or TNT, again, just imagine him lighting up the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League
just
experience.
their Premier League coverage, because I don't want to be rude on Rio Ferdinand here, but it's a bit bland.
I think the problem is he sort of finds a pundit, but TNT do these things where they're a bit off the wall. Like, I remember... they were covering a Luton home game at the start of the season. Obviously, they do the coverage all around the ground, and they were speaking to people, and obviously there were some fans who weren't quite as receptive to being interviewed as maybe, in a similar way to media-trained footballers who just give one-word answers. And they were interviewing a woman who was behind the counter making the pies for the fans, and he just wasn't giving it the sort of the spark. Whereas I feel like you put Ian Wright in that situation, and it is fireworks. Just the entertainment will not stop. So sometimes I do think they lack a bit of that energy. Pizzazz energy, indeed. So maybe that's
and it'd
maybe
be good
be
to
a good
see
thing.
Ian Wright still on our screens as well. We don't want to lose him completely, because he's one of the funniest, one of the positive pundits out there. Always brings a smile to the face.
Right, we'll do some Wikipedia quizzing after some Diana Ross. So
Yeah, we're back.
right, we're back on the YouTubes
Because we've got our quiz ready, haven't we, Alfie?
our quiz ready. There's a
Yeah.
theme. There's a theme I've got to
Alfie does themes. I'll just pick 3 random.
all of
players.
my answers, which will give you a clue once you cotton on to it. I reckon the third one might be easier, or actually harder, because you figured out the clue. Maybe there's a stumbling block in there. Who knows? But anyway, Wikipedia quizzing. So what we do every week.
it's
Why? Because it's easy.
It embarrasses me, yeah.
It also embarrasses Ciaran. No, I think we've equally had our moments of embarrassment. I mean, I would say that me not knowing who Ricardo Fuller was would have been a moment of embarrassment if you hadn't have described him as a right back, despite him being a striker and wearing the number 10 on his back. But look, I'm over it. I'm over it, I swear. But yes, if you would like to get in touch with the show, you could always comment on the YouTube.
Yeah, please, because we're supposed to have a guest on.
Yeah,
and,
I think the purpose of the YouTube...
He got embarrassed by having to speak about Rangers this week.
Ciaran provides a completely unbiased view on Celtic every week. Yeah, really. So we thought we'd get someone else on to talk about Rangers. That may happen in a few weeks' time. We'll see.
Hopefully.
I'm also looking to drag my brother onto one of these at some point. I don't know how logistically that happens, but we can figure it out.
We could just come through the... Am I allowed to say actually on the radio?
What, through the door?
Through that security door.
We are allowed guests. I just mean logistically how it works is my point. Because I think that would be quite interesting. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto that, but we've got
it would be,
a minute before Martha and the Muffins finish singing about Echo Beach. It is a great song, to be fair, which we can't show you because of copyright reasons on YouTube. Hence why we're doing this, by the way, in case you were confused. Again, you can listen back to the show on the podcast when that's released, and also watch back the YouTube, which I think is going to be the primary function, because we did not advertise this early enough for people to actually watch the live stream. So you can be what most.
Well, follow us on social media as well.
Yeah, I imagine most people will be watching back on there. Hopefully. I've also thought about doing an Instagram live at some point during one of our
Q&A.
shows. Yeah, possibly. Okay, Martha and her muffins have almost finished singing, so we'll come in and then be out again. See you in a moment. Quiz time. The quiz. The quiz. It's Wikipedia time.
You're trying to create a jingle.
Yeah, out of Frank Zappa's wonderful Peaches and Regalia music. It's Wikipedia quiz because, as mentioned, if you were listening there on the YouTube and not just live on the air, it's quite easy to do. So yeah, Wikipedia quiz.
We're lazy buggers.
We are, however, just to prove that we're not that lazy when it comes to quizzing, we are curating a quiz that we're going to be hosting for some of our mates in a few weeks. So we are thinking about quiz questions.
That'd be a good night, yeah.
But the thing is, right, our choice is, do we sacrifice good quiz questions on this radio station, which means we can't use them in that quiz because they'll have listened to the show and then we'll have given them the answers. Or do we just do Wikipedia quizzing on air and then leave the quality questions we come up to there? So that's the solution we come up with for now.
Because we should sell tickets to that event, so make money.
Yeah,
so if you want a ticket to the quiz, £10.
Just a random. We didn't consult each other.
You get water on arrival.
It's going to be like the Willy Wonka experience. We'll give you a quarter of a cup of lemonade, 1 fruit pastel or jelly baby or whatever it was. There was no chocolate. Sorry, I know this is weeks old and we didn't even cover it at the time, but there was no chocolate. It was a chocolate experience. It was Willy's, quote, Willy's chocolate experience, and there was no chocolate.
That is disgrace. It's like going to Cadbury World. going in the shop and they're like, sorry, don't have any chocolate today.
We just couldn't be bothered to make.
I think I'd get a refund.
Indeed. Just like you'll be asking for a refund if we don't get on with the Wikipedia quiz. So who wants to go first?
I don't mind. I can go first if you want me to go first.
Okay,
Yeah.
as in you'll be quizzed first, or as in you want to be the...
I can quiz you first if you want.
Okay, go
Mine
for
don't have a
it.
theme, so there's 3
okay.
random players. So, yes, let's start on player number 1. Started his career at FC Basel. Specifically for the
Swiss-
second team first, and then obviously got
Swiss
promoted.
team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for, because I feel it might be relevant, Granit Xhaka.
No, it's not Granit Xhaka. That's a good guess, actually, because that is in the news, yeah.
Can I have a secondary guess before we move on?
Oh, yeah, if you want, mate.
Xherdan Shaqiri.
Unbelievable. Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Stoke City, Liverpool, Lyon, and... Who do you play for now?
In America. Come on! Who the hell?
You don't get a point if you don't know.
Don't be silly.
Chicago Fire.
Chicago
Yeah,
Fire,
yeah, he's only 32. Still got a few more years left.
What
in
a
him.
player. What a player and what call.
You'd sort of want the career the other way round in a way.
Well, no, he's having a nice
He's had a
little
good-
retirement in America.
Hasn't stayed anywhere for over 100 appearances yet.
No,
Bit of
but
a
what
mover.
a player for Stoke. What a player he was.
Well, yeah, because he was way above
What a
the
player
pay
he
grade
was,
there.
by the way.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh, those calves were mighty
Technical
powerful.
ability was out of his world. Very good
From a free
technically.
kick.
Yeah.
You could see where the power was coming from. And hey, if we were playing against Hull City, that man was guaranteed to score a screamer. But yeah, what a player. What a player. I don't know why, I just sort of knew. I just knew it would be him.
Yeah.
So congratulations to me. Hold on, I want more applause.
Always got to incorporate Stoke City in this quiz.
Yeah,
Just
because
for
of
you.
course I don't talk about them enough, do I?
No,
So we need to...
we never talk about Stoke City. We might do later as well, the championship
That is true.
at the bottom, hotting up still. But let's move on to my second player. Out of 3, started his career at Crystal Palace.
Okay. Started at Crystal Palace. Is it the man that we just mentioned, Ian Wright?
No, it isn't, but that's another good guess.
Okay.
We then move on to Birmingham City.
Palace to Birmingham. I don't know anyone who started at Palace, to be honest. I don't know how easy that is to know. Do we have a year here? Can we help with a year?
Birmingham's 2002 to 2005.
Okay, so quite old.
Yeah, so he's retired now, this player.
Have a think. I don't know. I can't. No, can't offer you anything. One of the
Okay.
gardeners.
Okay. I was
not
going to
as in
say.
like, not as in the pitch.
Gary Gardner's still playing though.
Which one of them's director of football or something? Is he or was?
Okay.
Maybe Craig Gardner. Maybe is there 3 of them? Or is it
You've
just
confused
2?
me now.
Is there a Craig Gardner, Gary Gardner? Is there another one, or am I being silly? Anyway,
If you watch on
carry on,
YouTube,
carry
you'll be
on.
able to
See
find out the answer.
See the confusion
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
Kieran's face.
Anyway, after Birmingham, he loved Croydon so much that he went back to Crystal Palace.
Wow.
I don't know why he'd want to go back.
It is a choice, certainly. Okay, so back to Crystal Palace. I don't know. I've got nothing
Loved it.
to offer.
Okay. He then moved to Coventry City.
No. This is too.
No. Okay.
I've just got no idea. At Coventry, so Palace, Birmingham, Palace, Coventry.
Yep.
Can you think of anyone
Stayed at
who's
all 4 of those
ever
clubs
played for
pretty long
Coventry?
time.
Nope.
Then moved to Sheffield Wednesday. Bit of an EFL player, this one.
It's
Obviously.
no good. It's no good. I don't know. Let's randomly shout a Palace player out there. No, too old. Too young. Because this was like 2002 he started at Palace, was it, or something?
1998 he started
Oh,
at
wow.
Palace.
God, no. I was about to say Jason Punchin. It couldn't be further from the truth, could it? No, we're going to have to skip.
So he had 2 loan spells at Sheffield Wednesday to MK Dons and Brentford. Didn't really make an impression at both. His next permanent move was Colchester United. He's winding down now. So I think he would have got it.
Yeah, I haven't got it, so I'm not going to get it.
Because he then moved to Long Eaton, just down the road from here.
Okay.
Exeter, Redditch United, and ended at Mickleover.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to tell you? Do you want to guess for me?
No, I can't give you anything. You've stumped me. Congratulations.
He's a pundit on Sky quite a bit. Do that Soccer Saturday and EFL.
Joby McAnuff?
No, it's Clinton Morrison.
Clinton. Oh my God, Clinton Morrison. Of course.
Joby McAnuff would have had Reading in it.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But yeah.
Oh,
good guess.
Clinton Morrison. So, which of those teams was he managed by Harry Redknapp at? Or was he never managed by Harry Redknapp? Because I thought that was a thing.
Oh, well, Harry Redknapp's never managed any of those teams.
Well, I thought they
definitely
had a
hasn't
thing.
managed Mickleover.
What's with them? What's with the advert they did? Or are they just mates for some
Neil
reason?
Warnock was in the advert.
It's Neil Warnock. Isn't Neil Warnock?
The Christmas advert. It's quite funny.
Sorry, someone was talking.
Well, Neil Warnock probably at...
Someone was talking to me about
Palace.
Harry Redknapp earlier. That's the confusion. Yes,
Was it
Palace,
Palace,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
He
it
made
makes sense
157 appearances in his first spell, 124 in his second spell. Clearly
There we
liked
go.
it.
Okay, is it... That's
That's 2 out of 3.
Oh, yes, sorry. Continue.
We've got a third... If you want to hear it, you don't have to.
Hey, sorry, that last one was just so... I was so clueless.
That's all right. It was a tough one, even though we all know Clinton.
Yeah.
As a nice fella, I think.
Commented on my potato salad that I was eating once in a press box. I did. She went, "Oh, potato salad." I went, "Yeah, that was it."
Oh.
So nice man. I don't know.
But,
That's not really a basis for an opinion on someone, is it? But he seemed reasonably nice.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
The salad was nice as well. Let's be clear.
This last ex-player started at Brøndby.
Brøndby, Swedish. So I'm going to randomly throw out.
It's Danish.
That's what I meant.
I'll give you it.
Because I'm about to say Daniel Agger, who I think is Danish, isn't he? Daniel Agger.
No, it's not.
Do I mean Martin Skirtle? I'm going with that as well.
No.
No? Okay.
Because we're starting off here in 1986.
Oh. Oh God, what's he called? One of Jari Litmanen.
No.
Okay, continue.
Okay, the next club was a club... It doesn't say the country in the first little bit.
What was the first team?
Brøndby. Brodby.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The second team is Bayer Erdingen.
What, like the drink?
Uerdingen. You can tell why. Didn't do language.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes, I can certainly...
I think it's German, but it didn't
certainly see that.
Oh yeah, it does say former Bundesliga side, but they now play in the 5th tier. They've fallen from grace. So let's just move on to the next.
So the radio station is going horrendously wrong, and things are starting to play in the background for some reason. Yeah, it's all gone horrendously wrong, so I've got no idea. So let's skip on to the next.
Yeah. Then he moved to Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
That's easier to say.
Easier to say.
So we're in 1990
Danish
now.
Bayern Munich player. I've got anything here? I don't think I've got anything to offer.
Okay. He then moved to Fiorentina, and he had a loan at Milan whilst he was there.
God, these are hard. You've chosen some difficult ones here, haven't you? No, got nothing.
Okay, then this was the club where he made the most appearances in his career, which was Rangers.
A Danish Rangers player.
Bit of a legend up there.
Oh no, he's going to embarrass me here.
Between 1994 and 1988, 116 appearances.
I've got no idea. I do apologise.
Oh, that's alright.
It's not my wheelhouse. Not my wheelhouse.
Then he moved to Chelsea. We only had 7 appearances there. Copenhagen and Ajax. if I said that he managed Swansea City to League Cup success all those years ago.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Beat Bradford 5-0.
Laudrup.
It is Brian Laudrup.
Brian Laudrup, not Michael. Jeez, I'm not quite getting it right. Okay, that was
Even though he was
terrible.
Danish, it says he was born in Vienna, in Austria. Fun fact.
Sorry, that just played the boo sound effect. It sounded like I wasn't very happy with the city of Vienna.
Yeah.
I've got no opinions on Vienna as a place. I'm sure it's very nice. But yeah.
Did you enjoy the quiz this week?
Did I enjoy getting absolutely battered in the quiz this week? No, not really. In tribute to the fact that he was born in Vienna, shall we play Billy Joel's Vienna? I feel like that's it.
That was clearly why I picked it.
Yeah, and then I'll quiz you because that was just embarrassing. What tune? And we're back quizzing again.
We are indeed.
How do we feel?
I feel nervous now because you thought that was quite a difficult 3 players that I did for you, so I'm feeling that you might have changed it up and gone a bit more difficult now.
No, it's
So
fine.
I wouldn't blame
it's
you
fine.
for.
It's fine. We're all good.
I'm always
We're all
nervous
good.
because I don't like getting them wrong.
Again, there's a theme. Well, I don't like getting them wrong. And I did over and over again. So, what can you do? Welcome back on YouTube. I just forgot to turn the cameras back on. Hello all. So, quiz time. Quiz time. Shall we get underway?
Yes. Let's do
In
this.
2021, his first team, Manchester City.
2021.
His first senior team, Manchester City.
Phil Foden.
I'm sure Phil Foden was around before 2021.
Maybe.
Because did he not go to the Euros that year? So you wouldn't take someone from obscurity to the Euros within the space of a few months, would you? So I don't think so anyway.
I'm just trying to think of young Man City players.
Yeah. I apologise.
Yeah.
Yes, not Phil Foden. Next, he went out on loan to what? I was about to say Manchester City. From Manchester City to who are they? Accrington Stanley.
Surely can't be Cole Palmer. Well, that would just be the
Incorrect.
craziest. Just because he's in the news. 2021 might have married.
He then went on loan in 2022, towards the end of that season, to Bolton Wanderers. I think.
James Trafford?
Say again?
James Trafford. Definitely went out on loan.
It is indeed
And maybe Burnley.
James Trafford, who then went back out on loan to Bolton the following season, before then being signed by Burnley. Congratulations,
Thank you.
James Trafford.
And now he's out of the team for some reason. This new keeper, last 2 games, has cost Burnley, 2 wins.
Well, following the theme, wow, that is the name of the team he started for. Okay.
Did you not say it?
Based in Manchester. No, just a strange name that I wasn't aware of. He started his career in 2008. His senior career for a season. He doesn't have appearances or goals here, so I imagine they're not a professional team, certainly. But you'll be able to tell where they're from, and you can imagine what their badge looks like as well. They're called Main Road.
Oh. It's going to be very similar to Man City's badge, is it?
Yeah, it's literally exactly the same. The circular badge, but it just says Main Road FC at the top.
So it's going to be a Mancunian then.
Yes, he is Mancunian. I don't think I immediately think of him as Manc first thought, but yes, that is true.
Oh yeah, I've just seen the badge. That is
it's exactly the same.
They lost 5-0 the weekend though.
Oh dear, it's no good, is it? He then moved on and played for 5 years for Oldham Athletic.
Ooh, not bad. This might have been when Oldham in the Premier League, maybe.
What, in 2009?
Oh, 2009. Okay, no then. I won't be able to hazard a guess on that one.
Okay, he then moved on to where I first took note of him, I think. Before then, didn't know who he was.
We didn't take note of Main Road FC.
Yeah, I'm down there every week scouting them all out. In 2008, when I was 7 years old. Yeah, at Brentford, where he made 70 appearances in 2 years.
Brentford, and this is. This obviously when they're in the Championship.
So Main Road FC to Oldham Athletic, then Brentford.
It's quite a tough one. Boys so far. Ollie Watkins?
It is not Ollie Watkins, although reasonable guess, I'd say.
Well, he did play Brentford, so.
He did indeed play for Brentford. This player then moves on to a team in Claret and Blue, so not that far from Ollie Watkins. However, that team is Burnley. That isn't the link between these clues, it just so happens that the first two are Burnley players. So he then moves from Brentford in 2016 to Burnley.
So is he still at Burnley?
He is not.
Ben Mee.
Ooh, close.
I know he played for man.
But no, he's also played for Brentford, but he plays for Brentford now. He didn't play for Brentford before Burnley.
Okay.
Whereas this player, of course, played for Brentford and then went to Burnley.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
Oh, well, can't really think of many at the minute, got to be honest. Is there another clue, or is that it?
There's one more.
Okay, I'll take one more, please. Into the tension round.
He is now at, and has been since 2022, the Toffees, Everton.
Okay. Could be a few players, because Sean Dyche likes to buy from his old club.
Indeed.
So, Dwight McNeil? He plays for Burnley.
No, not Dwight McNeil.
I know Michael Keane played for Man United, didn't he? So.
Getting close positionally.
Position that he plays next to.
Come on, Kieran. Come on. You got this.
Oh. Have I?
Oh dear. He also had a youth career at Blackburn Rovers and has been capped by England twice in 2018, apparently.
Good for him.
Yeah. Think Burnley. Think Burnley defenders. That isn't Michael Keane.
Or Ben Mee.
Or Ben Mee. There's literally one other you can choose from out of that group now, I think.
No names are coming to my head.
I think you will be annoyed.
I know.
And I think I could see myself being in exactly the same boat, to be fair. But it is James Tarkowski. James Tarkowski, however you say it. It's James Tarkowski.
Good one. Yeah.
As mentioned before, the theme is not Burnley. As you'll be able to tell by the fact that our next player's first team was, in 2006 to 2008, Envigado Football Club in Colombia.
Colombia. Falcao.
Oh, what a random shout. It's not Falcao.
Streets will never forget.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd forgotten all about him until just moments ago. So the streets upon which I walk did forget. He was rubbish.
At Man United.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw him play for Man United at Stoke, and he was... Ooh, I had no idea. No idea how he got to that standard, but hey-ho. Not Falcao.
Not many players can do it on a Tuesday night.
He then moved on to Club Atletico Banfield, an Argentinian club. Not helping at all. This one's
I don't think it is.
Okay, you might get it on this next one, possibly. He moved to Europe after that, heading to FC Porto.
But he's Colombian.
FC Porto. After Banfield and Envigado in Colombia.
David Ospina's Colombian.
It's
Most
not
random
David
Colombian.
Ospina. I always forget about him. I remember doing one of those...
Only because you just Arsenal, obviously.
You know when Wordle was a thing, and they had that starting 11 thing as well, where it was a different team each day.
Yeah.
There was an Arsenal team from about 2018. I just couldn't remember who the goalkeeper was. I was like, that is not enough letters to put Czech or Szczesny in. So who could it possibly be? Just forgot about Ospina's existence. But yes, not David Ospina. He then moved on from Porto to Monaco.
Okay. Porto and Monaco.
Porto to Monaco.
Porto
to Monaco. You just can't think of any Colombians. It is a shame. His
Luis
big
Diaz
move,
played for Porto, didn't he?
too early. This is
But he didn't play.
Diaz 2019 or 2020.
What's
or
the
whatever.
year then?
This is what I'm about to say, and you will get it on this next one. I think, if you're going to get it. So his big move then comes he goes from Monaco to Real Madrid in 2014. So you got all the building blocks of the answer there. Colombian moves to Real Madrid in 2014. Think about 2014. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I got it now. James Rodriguez. Because he won the Golden Boot in 2014.
Exactly. And the theme of all these players is that they've all won the Golden... No. The theme is that they're all called James.
Oh.
James Trafford, James Tarkowski, and James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez.
Oh, nice one.
There you go. So then he moved on loan to Bayern Munich in 2017. A 2-year loan there for moving to Everton under the stewardship of Carlo Ancelotti,
That's
of course.
strange to think
Then he went to Al Rayyan in
Saudi
Qatar.
Arabia?
Before moving to Olympiacos in 2022, where he only played 20 games in a team that I believe were quite fraught with issues at the time and overpaid players and unrest and so on and so forth, before moving to where he is now in Brazil with Sao Paulo. He has also made 98 appearances for the Colombian senior national team.
2 off 100 then.
What a shame for him, as he'll probably never get those other two now he's playing for Sao Paulo. And is only 32, yet a player who plays like he's about 50. So, yeah, it's probably not going to happen for him anytime soon. That was the quiz, everyone.
Let us know you did.
Yes. Were you unstoppable in the quiz?
No.
Yeah, we weren't. We're not burning bright.
No.
But if we were, Celeste is going to try and stop this flame. What do you want to say?
Just chat about the quiz.
Well,
I don't know.
Hello again to YouTube. Celeste is playing live on the radio, on Phantom Radio. If you want to listen to her, that's where you can listen. What do we make of that quiz?
Always enjoy it, but harder sometimes.
Yeah, that was tough. I found that very tough. There was the last two, especially. I just had no idea. I just couldn't wrap my brains.
Well, everyone sort of
all.
knows of Clinton Morris, and they watch him obviously always time on the TV. But it's just
he's one of those that you just sort of get lost within the. I don't know, within my brain.
Yeah, never hear about his actual playing career, do you? You just
no.
Pundit.
Just occasionally mention Neil Warnock, who again I mistook for Harry Redknapp, because yesterday in a lecture we were talking about campaigns and advertising campaigns, and Sky Mobile did one with Harry Redknapp where he carried a cardboard cutout of a car door around with him to try and convince people to transfer to Sky Mobile. I know, disgusting. But yeah, so that's why he was in my head for some reason. I thought, people playing for teams. Oh, Harry Redknapp. Yeah. They are quite similar managers, aren't they, in one sense?
Since or never. Neil Warnock's had many more clubs, though.
Yes, that is also true. But, can't have it all.
I couldn't see Harry Redknapp going to Aberdeen either.
No.
Gotta be honest.
No, I agree with you.
I think he might stay south of the border.
Yeah, might get a nosebleed going any higher. Decent quiz. We shall move on to what now? We just said, I can't remember what it was.
We're moving to the Pascal Chimbonda
That's
update,
it.
our usual
It's
features.
everyone's favourite feature.
Then we've got to talk about Stoke.
We do have to talk
on
about
the weekend and the Scottish Premiership. Quick chat as well.
So let's just about to finish up.
Let's go.
We'll be back with you in a moment.
Now, it's time for the usual features on the Phantom Radio Sports Show. Unfortunately, I know we've got the viewing cameras, but he's not in the studio.
Oh, yes.
He never has been.
Indeed. Sorry, I will try and find the...
but we still got lots to talk about. So stick around. Obviously, you said Championship, Stoke, Scottish Premiership, Women's FA Cup. Yeah, plenty.
But shall we do our favourite feature?
Let's do it.
In 2 seconds. It is... Pascal Chimbonda update time, everyone. How are we feeling?
It's gone a bit quiet now because they got relegated. So there's not been much news. He's still in the job, which is good. They haven't sacked him straight after relegation. He's still there.
Yeah. He's still hanging on.
Yeah. But I think the real news is going to come in the off-season, people. So this is just a score update. We think the
writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
So hence, yes, we thought we'd keep up with him nonetheless. How is Pascal Chimbonda, former Spurs defender? Yep, yes, definitely defender. Former Spurs defender Pascal Chimbonda, who took on the job at Skelmersdale United this season. We've followed him all the way through. They created the hashtag Skembonda for their
it's good.
Social media accounts, because why not make a hashtag? And it started off a bit strangely. He made a bet with someone over a steak dinner that he didn't actually reciprocate over when his team didn't beat the chairman of the team that he made the bet with. Still waiting for that Toby Carvery apparently to come through. Last week we brought you news of their relegation. A few weeks before that we brought you news of their 10-1 defeat away at Bury. This week we bring you news of just a scoreline, because I don't think it could get any wilder. Of course, I've missed out the registering himself as a player when he was banned from the touchline for a few games, and also saying that he wanted his team to play like Pep Guardiola, Diego Simeone and Jose Mourinho all in one go, despite the fact they were facing a relegation battle they have lost. The scores this week.
Well, they won on Saturday 2-1 against Liverland REMYCA FC.
Is that a Village People song?
I don't know whether it's supposed to say it all in one, but it's REMYCA FC.
REMYCA. To be clear, for those not watching on YouTube, I just did an alternative version of the YMCA, which I don't... yes, what
but
a
they
name.
Won. So obviously now they're just playing for pride, and it's good that they've got enough 3 points on the board, but they're obviously still bottom. Obviously they're really good.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Well, not to end on a sour note, but that was... There we go, we've got two of them. Time's running out on Pascal, so we've got to use them up.
We have to.
The other feature we always do, I forgot to say, have we done that? It's your job, it appears, to bring us every week whose birthday it is. Because that's all the news ever is. In the feature that we like to call... Again,
we have got some birthdays.
What has happened and whose birthday is it?
Well, happy birthday to, as an Arsenal fan, the legendary Freddie Ljungberg. Aaron Lennon. Don't think I have any thoughts about him.
What, because he's a Tottenham fan? Tottenham player.
Shinji Okazaki. I liked him at Leicester. Thought I'd chuck him in there. And Rafa Benitez, CDX, Liverpool, Newcastle manager. We've also got
Chelsea, of course.
Yes, we've also got a year ago today. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 50th club hat-trick for Manchester United. That's quite a good achievement. And in 1980, the legendary Arthur Ashe retired from professional tennis.
Wow, we have actually mentioned another sport.
I know, tennis.
We haven't spoken about golf yet.
We will do all this, yeah.
Just probably now-ish.
Yeah.
But that's all, is it, for on this day?
Well,
or is there
that's
some more?
quite a lot compared to what we usually do.
It is. Please remind us of the main birthdays.
Lundberg and Rafa Benitez. Probably the two main ones.
Fabulous.
Lundberg was a superb player at Arsenal.
Again, that was... Thank you for joining us there. Now we move on.
Thanks for joining us there. Am I off then?
No. Yeah, get out.
See you.
Now you've done on this day. I just thought, we'd cap off that section of the show. That's the bits people listen to. They tune in for those two sections, of course. And by the tune in, I mean they don't tune in, but they listen on the podcast.
They go put the kettle on at that point.
Yes, that is when the
blame
water
you.
starts boiling. But yes, anyway, the Masters.
Did you watch it?
No.
Let's end the conversation next.
End the conversation. No, the conversation is why. Because we were having a chat yesterday with. My just gone blank.
Well, Resh,
sorry, that's
Mark, Derby women people.
Of course, Mark, who is the coach of the women's football team here at the university and a coach for Derby County Women, and Resh, who works with us on the media team, is the head of it. Basically, they were saying how they liked golf, and all of you've been watching the Masters, and we're just it's not our scene. Now, I don't know whether you have to age into golf.
Well, that's what they said as well. They admitted that at our age they didn't like golf, and now they've
got into it.
I don't mind people enjoying playing golf. I don't think that's the problem. This is just more watching it.
I just can't envisage.
Where's the entertainment in watching it? I just can't
envisage a scenario in which watching the golf,
watching a player hit a ball
beyond. I really need a way to fall asleep right now. Oh, why not whack on the golf coverage? Because it is very... Andy's wandering over there to hold...
It's David Attenborough voice, but even lower.
And Rory McIlroy tees up the ball to the left, and he'll be looking to get the right stroke. Do we agree with the club that he's chosen here? Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. This is the Masters, everyone. Are we all enjoying ourselves? So it's a bit ASMR-ified in a sense, and mightily boring. You could easily drift off to it, is all I am saying.
I completely agree. But Scotty Scheffler was the winner this year.
What a name.
And to be fair, you get a nice green jacket.
That is also true.
That's
you do
actually
get a nice
pretty cool.
Green jacket. Yeah, but we don't watch it because it's boring.
I'll play crazy golf, mini golf. That's fun.
See, the other thing that was mentioned is a thing called, in America, which Mark pointed out to us, a thing called Top Golf, which is essentially
I've never heard of this before.
a load of driving ranges on top of each other, so on different floors where you can shoot out into the, the lane or whatever you want to call it, into the open field. And in order to accommodate more people in less space, there's lanes on each floor. Then you just shoot away as you like.
Yeah.
And since researching that and finding out the nearest one to us is probably Watford, because the only one north is really north in Glasgow. And it does look like fun. I could imagine doing that. I could then also imagine the back pain for days and days after, just continually swinging in that unnatural body position that golf makes you aim for. But it looked quite fun. Since then, again, the thing about the phones are always listening. I Googled it once, and I have been advertised it at least 25 times in the last.
They need the business.
Minimal amount of hours. So that is a minor concern. But yeah, I won't be making my way to Watford anytime soon, I don't think. But it does look like fun.
Yeah.
So if I was in the vicinity, I'd think about it.
I think we should play foot golf.
I have done that. I have done foot golf before.
I haven't done it, but it looks like fun. Again, it's just... it's football and golf combined, isn't it?
The thing
basically?
real critics of golf say is the phrase, "It's a nice walk ruined." because obviously you're just on a nice long walk and then there's some golf in between. Foot golf was, it was alright. You've got to have quite the swing on you, a bit of power in the old legs.
So it's tougher than it looks.
Yeah, I'd say so. If you were a goalkeeper and used to doing goal kicks, I think you'd be perfect. You've just got to perfect the technique a bit more than maybe you think you would for some trivial activity.
Okay.
But it was quite fun. Went with my brother and my dad. It was quite a few years ago now, so maybe I've got a bit more power in my kick since.
I think the listeners need to decide who they think would win out of me and you.
Indeed. Speaking of the listeners' decisions, shall we check how the poll is doing?
Who will win the Premier League?
Will win the Premier League?
It's got to be Man City out in front, surely.
Oh, Man City have really pulled away.
How many votes you got?
All I'm going to say is that since we last checked, Arsenal and Liverpool have both received no new votes, and Man City have received all of the new votes that we got. So Barney votes for Man City, Riley votes for Man City, Jack Netting votes for Man City, Kieran Leary votes for Man City.
Jack Netting's an Arsenal fan as well.
The Derby Uni Footy Journos account votes for Man City. Sam votes for Man City. Callum Brissett votes for Man City. Maria, another member of the She Talk Sport podcast, choosing to go down the route of sanity and voting for Man City. There are more I could read out. There are many more I could read out.
You said
Man City.
Callum Brissett, the Ipswich fan we've had on the show. I think it'd be more interesting to see who thinks going to win a championship, because each of those clubs seem to lose on the same weekend, and no one takes advantage of the other slipping up. And
the ball is dropped by one, handed over to the other, and dropped again.
Because we watched Plymouth v Leicester. Plymouth won, and then next day Leeds are hosting Blackburn. You think, Leeds are going to win at home. Nope, Blackburn win. So then you think Ipswich 3:00 kickoff, home Middlesbrough. Surely they're going to take it. Nope, they drew.
Yeah, I would have liked Leicester to do Stoke a favour and batter Plymouth, but no. Contrary to what we said last week, me saying I'm not sure how much fight Plymouth have in them, they managed a 1-0 win against Leicester.
So they clearly have some fight in them.
Which is concerning from my point of view for obvious reasons. But look, we're just hoping, as a Stoke fan, I think we just need one more point. But this week we didn't manage. So Swansea midweek, the controversy happened. Which I sort of understand why. So the goal wasn't given when the goalkeeper had the ball in his hand. Sort of actually was in one hand, but it was a close one thing as to whether it was in one or two hands. He was carrying it and then didn't spot the Stoke player in the box, Niall Ennis, and accidentally dropped it on his head while he was trying to drop kick the ball away. And so it dropped behind him, and Ennis was able to sort of poke into an empty net to bring the game level, which I think 2 points from these past two games, the one on Wednesday and the one on Saturday, would have been enough to secure our place in the Championship next season. But alas, the goal was disallowed, and I put a tweet out essentially just saying, why was that not given then? Even though I sort of knew why, I just thought, let's stir the pot a tad here. And it got a few people swearing at me for no apparent reason. Saying, well, your player was in the wrong, actually, as if I was sort of taking ownership of any of these people. But it was good fun. Just a bit frustrating that Stoke weren't able to make anything of that game. And as much as that decision is a once in a blue moon decision and one of those things you can't legislate for, they also weren't good enough to get over the line either. So, look, fair play, and then Plymouth beat Leicester, so that just added a bit more annoyance to it for me. But what can you do? Not much.
Yeah, you still got to play Plymouth, so if you beat them at home,
it's essentially in our hands in that situation.
Yeah, it's still in your hands, and that's how you want it. You don't want to be, in the relegation zone this stage of the season.
No, not at all. Well, there we go. That's the Championship.
Have you heard the news today about Troy Deeney?
What news?
Well, obviously he was sacked as Forest Green Rovers boss years ago. So
covered extensively on the Phantom Radio Sport.
Yeah, so he had a bit more free time. So obviously he's going to pick up a new hobby. Maybe he's going to, try something different. Which fair play. So Troy Deeney has decided that he's going to feature as a wildcard player at next month's UK Open Pool Championship? Why? I think he just wants to do it for fun. He just didn't want about it. He just wants to play some pool, I think.
It's a random bit of news, isn't it? When I saw this, I was quite perplexed, I've got to say. Troy put his hat into the managerial ring and then burnt the ring immediately, and all the bridges that he crossed to get there by berating his players in post-match interviews, being not getting any results, slating people, basically causing a bit of a ruckus. So he's decided to turn his hand to pool instead. Maybe the pool world will welcome him with open arms.
Well, might give him a bit more publicity.
Wow, the cynical nature.
Well,
of
have you ever watched professional pool on the telly?
Yes, I watched.
I thought you were going to say no, that's why I said it. That backfired.
I watched George Trump play in an American pool tournament as the wild card option, which was obviously the whole pool community were in uproar about these snooker people thinking they're good enough to come and play over in pool, because it is a different game. However, he did quite well, and then he came up against a professional and obviously got spanked, but it was quite a good watch, quite an entertaining one. But yeah, quite enjoyed watching that. Otherwise, the answer is no.
Anyway, so if you want to go see Troy Deeney, go to Telford between the 7th and 12th of May.
Yes, Telford, of course.
That wonderful place.
His sort of stomping ground, isn't it? Midlands.
Yeah, because he's born in Warsaw, Birmingham player.
So, a bit of a home crowd there for him, possibly.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
In the pool championships. 7 minutes to go of the show, so shall we head to a song and then sign off? It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's we need to do Celtic, don't we? We haven't talked about Celtic Rangers yet.
Many.
Oh, we might go 5 minutes over, but look, here's Supersonic. Hello, YouTubers.
Bonus content.
Bonus
if you're on YouTube
content
now.
Once more. We forgot. Well, in the running order, we've got quite a few things to talk about today, and it's something that I forgot to talk about last week. So, in these minutes of Oasis singing Supersonic, on the other side,
in the sunshine,
on the
radio. Need a bit of that.
Let's talk about what happened last week. Last weekend, in fact. Over the weekend, it spanned 2 nights of the greatest spectacle in all of sports entertainment, as they would call it. I'm hearing a sneaker from Ciaran there. WrestleMania, of course.
Not my bag.
Which have you never been into wrestling?
No.
Well, then you just wouldn't be into it, would you?
No.
But I watched.
Well, I played the video games, WWE on Xbox.
Oh, of course.
They're quite fun though. When you
yeah,
play
that was my main enjoyment of wrestling. To be fair, was I think I had all the video games from about 2008 to 2016. I think I had every year's. 13 was the best, by the way. Big fan of CM Punk, who's back on the scene now, apparently. Yes, but I have dipped out entirely of focusing on wrestling, and the only time I've ever looked at it is when WrestleMania comes around.
But that's the big event, isn't it?
But yeah, exactly.
It's not the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Of American football.
Because I did the same thing, and I have mentioned it on this show that me and my brother do a watch along of some of these things, and we did that with WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
And although he was working at the weekend, so we did it on like Monday night, I think, or Tuesday night or something, and just watched the second day. trying to make sure we were sort of watching in sync in the same time on the stream.
Yeah.
It was quite good. I enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
It is utter nonsense, but that's sort of what it is. And people who go, well, it's not real. How can you possibly enjoy
is real.
it? What you've got to say is, well, people watch, soap operas and, drama. It's all not real.
Yeah, it's all boring.
It's all not real at all. You don't like drama. Ugh.
Well, I don't
dear.
like Coronation Street, like
Oh,
soap
yeah,
opera
but
drama.
some people do, and it's a bit of a quirky little drama that people go and watch. It's just the same thing, just with
Yeah.
wrestlers. But yeah, WrestleMania, good stuff is all I've
Oh.
got to say on that. The Rock appeared, The Undertaker appeared at one stage, which,
Wow,
what
he's
more
a
do you
big one,
want?
yeah.
He is a big one. The lights went down, then he appeared in the ring behind The Rock. John Cena appeared, running down the ring. Down the ramp towards the ring to come and save whoever it was in the centre. I can't quite remember the exact scenario. Cody Rhodes, who was against Roman Reigns in the main event. That was the main event for the championship title.
Yeah.
And all these people got involved to come and interfere because it was no rules, so you couldn't be disqualified for hitting someone with a chair or whatever happens in wrestling.
Wow, I could.
But
get
yeah,
along with
John
that.
Cena was running down to the ring, and the camera just went behind his head, and there was quite a bald spot going on there, and he's dyeing his hair dark jet black, which I'm a bit concerned about. But otherwise, a good spectacle and a great
nice.
old watch. Also, Logan Paul is a wrestler, which is weird.
Oh, he was just a boxer.
And the whole thing is sponsored by Prime. His brother's taking the boxing route. Logan is well in on WWE.
Oh, there's two of them.
You didn't know there were two of them.
No,
Houston, we have a problem. This is not good.
I've just known one Paul.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Well, apparently we're
never
going to
knew
just
those
have
two.
a song now, and then we come back in. Look, we can continue talking about WrestleMania, but I'm going to attempt... Oh, the radio station's having a bit of a mare. I do apologise. See, this is the great stuff that you get when you listen on here, on YouTube.
We've been recruiting for roles, but no one's... We needed a researcher.
Exactly.
We needed a producer. Director.
Look, I'm doing all that.
Floor
apparently.
manager.
We will come back in now.
Oh, will we?
Right, we're back in. It's nearly the end of the show, but we've got a bit of stuff to squirm our way through quickly in a panic.
25 seconds.
No, it's all right. we'll go over. We'll go over by a few minutes. Don't know what happened at the end there. Many apologies. Right, Celtic v Rangers. Let's talk about it as quickly as we can.
Well, the big news was Rangers lost at weekend to Ross County. For the first time in their history, the first time Ross County have beaten Rangers in 25 attempts. 3-2 win for the side from Dingwall, if people didn't know that. Because, of course, they're a pretty small club up in the Highlands. Deserved victory for Ross County. They just were on it. Like, Rangers just had that off day, and you need that, as Ross County, if you're ever going to beat a Rangers, so you need to have an off day. And Rangers certainly did look a bit flat, Clement said about the preparations, because obviously they're preparing for the Dundee game and all that came with it. All that drama, which is still now rambling on. So maybe they just weren't focused enough, but it was a below par performance, and no surprise that they got a penalty at the end as well. Just saying.
Yeah, so a bit
just
of
to let them back in the game.
A bit of a shake-up in the
but
Scottish
but it
Premier
means
League
now
team.
that Rangers before could have gone to Celtic Park and got away with a point, but now as things stand, they've got to go to Celtic Park and win. So it's still in their own hands, but it has got tougher, and even if they win their game in hand now, Celtic are top of the table. They can't overtake them with this game in hand tomorrow night.
It's big.
So, yeah, it's shaken things up, and it's now put Celtic in a stronger position.
Big old shake-up there in the Scottish Premier League. We're about to wrap up. Was there something else we were going to say? No, we did that. So
No.
on YouTube, we had a conversation about WrestleMania, which I was supposed to have last week on the show, but we didn't get round to it. As you can tell, we've got a full schedule here
We do. This is
that we get
good
through.
show, yeah.
Quite a lot to get through. So yeah, that was the Phantom Radio Sports Show. Please do watch back on YouTube, the Phantom Media channel. We'll also share the links to rewatch that on our respective Instagrams, and the show's
Yeah, follow us.
Instagram at Phantom Sports Show, and on X at Sport on Phantom. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for this.
It'll also be available in podcast form. This is that's the Phantom Sports Show. Sorry, I'm just waiting for this song to finish. For another week. We shall be back next week with more.
We shall.
There's also Varsity tomorrow.
There is.
If you're listening to this as a uni student of the
Big
University
day
of Derby.
for sport in Derby.
The classic rivalry of Derbyshire and Hertfordshire, no idea, is coming along.
It's bigger than the Old Firm, so come on down.
Exactly. So
Bigger.
come on down. We shall see you next week. Cliff Richard plays us out, apparently, or he doesn't. That's the other option. Yes, Devil Woman, Cliff Richard. Then The Smiths with Girlfriend in a Coma. We've been Alfie and Ciaran. Goodbye.
Goodbye.